All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the HyperGo, the brand new 10208. Why can't they just give these things a name? But here it is. We're out here at the bash spot. We're gonna see how fast it runs, how good it jumps, and how good it drives. And I'm gonna give you an honest opinion, what I think of the newest little HyperGo. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you missed my unbox and first impressions, please go check that video out. I went through the complete vehicle and gave my first impressions. So on this one, we're going to go ahead and run it, and then I'll wrap it up with my final thoughts on that. I will say one thing I have found here. This body, it's got some very, very sharp edges on here. Gotta be careful with this thing. Power button. It would be nice if you could actually reach this through the body, but the part that makes it nice is the way this body, let me see, the way the body clips in here makes it really hard to reach the power button. So that would be nice. All right, everyone. So we got the GPS right in here, held in place with our RCAWD garage encapsulator. I am running an adapter. I will fix this later. I'm just trying to get the review video out, so sorry about that. This goes in, kind of reminds me a lot of the my Rustler. Not quite as hard, but it's not as easy as it could be to get in. There we are. Now see, for this app to work, you have to be on precise GPS. So I'm going to get the Angry Snail. That's the name of it, the Angry Snail app. Working. So there we go. ESC temps at 87.8. So I'm going to use the app and my digital thermometer later to see if the temperature and the app kind of match. See, one thing I don't get when they put these lights on a car, I don't understand, why does it need to be on a switch? Just make it be on all the time. All right, let's see if we got... Speed is reading. You know, to be honest with you, I don't even know what the whole real fascination with speed is. Why we even care. Wow, that does not sound... This is another one that is like, oh, this, look at the steering wheel. It does not... There it is. It's finally, oh, this is a horrible remote. It's sticking, man. I mean, how the hell am I supposed to do a speed test here if it's... You guys, I'm on 4S. It said it can run 4S, so of course we're gonna try it. Jeez, I don't know if the speed test is gonna happen, man. There we go. Wow. Serious? Oh, look at the dead turtle. Oh. Of course. Oh, man. $48. 48. You know, just yesterday I was out here testing the new the Valkyrie by RCAWD, and it on 4S did like 58. What the hell's that noise? What in the world? Man, look at the way the tires are ballooning there. So I'm not sure what the deal was. You guys, you remember Tom Lee created like a whole big thing with this car because he said he wouldn't review it because he heard that whatever they were sending out was not ready for the market and that there was some restrictions on it or whatever. And I remember seeing something about, they said please don't run it on 4S. It's supposed to be a 3S car, and if you do run it on 4S, please don't go full. Well, I mean, why even say that it's 4S capable at all? So I'm not sure. I really don't know the whole deal that happened there between what the YouTubers that got early releases. Golly, man, something sounds horrible. And this, you know, some people say, hey, there is no difference whatsoever, and then some things are like, hey, no, they made some differences. They fixed the body latch or tightened up some parts. Something too with the shocks. I don't know. It's on Tom Lee's page under his community post. Oh, I will say I'm a bit reluctant to spend this much money on something like MJX. Not saying that they're a bad brand, but you know, there's no local affiliation with them at all here. So it's not like the Red Cat that's sold through Tower that I have Tower that I can, or Horizon Hobbies, to deal with in case we have issues and warranty stuff. So, you know, initially I kind of like these brands because, you know, you can get people into the hobby relatively cheap, and now it seems the prices are really creeping up on these things. They're really starting, I think, test the waters to how high can they go and people still buy these things. And obviously they didn't fix the body issues. See, I know this thing will backflip. It'll backflip probably fairly easily. Oh yeah, but man, it is slamming down. I think this thing is a little bit heavy for the suspension that it's got. I'll try to add just a little bit more. Doesn't help that the body itself makes that horrible noise. Wow, man, it flies. It flies. It definitely very, very easy to get air with this. Very, very hard to keep the body on. So yeah, honestly that latch still needs some kind of work there, but I cannot believe, I mean, you guys look, I don't have a whole lot of run up onto this ramp, and it is going. That's one way to test the wheelie bar, is to go ahead and stick it in the oh man, well, there you go. Wheelie bar held on pretty good. Oh, I need to turn off that GPS, don't I? Or no, I did, didn't I? I believe so. Come on. Man. Oh no. Well, I'll be damned, we broke something. We broke something here. I'm not sure what. Appears 163. Let's see the ESC. 104. 101. Yeah, it's running hot. 160. Let's see what the app says. Well, this is a pain. You got to do this every time. Now see, the app says the ESC, it only gives you ESC temp. It says it's 114. It's about right, it would appear. But the motor's at 160. Brake. Honestly, we got no center diff. God damn. Well, that's a record. I haven't broke a car that fast. Well, let's go back to the shop, take it apart, see what it needs to get fixed. If I can fix it, we'll come back out here, do a little more running, and if not, I'll just have to conclude the review with what little bit of driving that I got. Alright, it is not the worst center diff in the world to get into, but it's definitely not the easiest. So you have two screws underneath that release this motor mount. Then you have the two screws there to take the motor mount out. You have two screws that hold this down. You have, I believe, three screws that hold a cover on right here. And then, where's all the stuff? Here you go. You got two screws for the annex sway bar, so two screws there, two up here, two there, and then you have the 1, 2, 3, 4 to hold that on, and then you have 3 that hold on this little cover that was right here. Take the bumper and that off. It is a process, and then whoever's using the Loctite, that factory needs that their fingers broke, because this thing was just so glued in. I mean, look, I didn't heat this thing up at all because it's plastic, but look at all the damn, it was on there so thick it ran out and dried. Look at all the damn. So I tried the best I could. I used my Ugga Dugga there and sent it, man. I just snapped that thing clean off. And I'll contact them for warranty, but what really pisses me off is this center diff. Look, I used freaking red damn Loctite, red Loctite, and a very soft screw that just, I was only able to get one screw out, and then I had to go in the garage. Thankfully I'm a car guy because I have tools, and I had to use a reverse, basically like a stripped screw remover. That it's a drill that goes in reverse kind of, but so this is the first time I'm opening this thing. Let's see what's going on here. So look, there's no pin right here to drive this. Look at this, man. You can see the dang red. Look, all that red. And there's really not even a whole lot in the way of diff fluid in here. That is pretty dry. Surprised this thing was wheeling at all, but so here's our problem, is that the sun gear here just, yeah, I see it now. There was a pin in there. The pin sheared. So that's what happened. So I imagine there's probably bits and pieces of it in here somewhere that needs to be cleaned out. But that's only if I can get what's left of this thing out. It is kind of stuck. Well, let me work on this and we'll get back to you. Well, the good thing is I'll be able to get the car back together for tomorrow. I have screws. This little kit right here has the right screws to put the diff back together. I was able to use one of the spring-loaded center punches and drive that piece out. That was nice, man. I clicked it and boom. It got out enough to where I was able to grab some pliers. And then for the new pin, here. Hopefully y'all can see inside the sun gear there. That pin, this actually came from a Traxxas slipper clutch kit. It's also, I found later, which I would have gutted that kit had I known, for the sub-axle kit. Same exact pin. Now, it wasn't a direct fit, so this is the don't do this at home. So I took my belt sander, put it upside down, put this in a pair of pliers and gave it a couple of taps, and now it works. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing back together. I'm gonna put some diff fluid in there. I'm gonna try this 20K. You know, part of things with the center diff is like that. I'm not sure if the way I landed that last one, if the tires actually hit, and maybe that shock to the drivetrain. I mean, I don't recall being on throttle. I could have been a little bit. I have to watch the tape. But that's where the center diff should have spun and allowed the power transfer to happen. So I'm gonna go with something kind of thin, especially seeing how they really don't have anything in there. So I'll get this back together and I'll see you outside. It shall be tomorrow, but instantaneous for you. Alright, so here it is. Look, hopefully you can see, 8,000 milliamp hour, 11 volt. This is a 3S pack. We are going to dress it up with our RCAWD Garage GPS holder here. We're going to do another speed run for you. I would say I kind of, I don't know, that little email thing that I posted earlier, it cautioned about running on 4S. I just don't, you know, but they market it as a 4S, so I think that's kind of. Oh, I did contact MJX. Told them that they owe me a center brace and a center diff, and they said, yeah, okay. Send them the part numbers, they'll send me the parts, and they also said thank you for the input. They'll use that when they design version 2. This is what I just heard from them. I do want to point out here, look at this. I have this thing wire tied, right? Let's make sure this is tight as possible. So it turns out a lot of times you see these center braces, it's just to add rigidity. For this RC, it truly is the backbone. You have to have this brace. If you take this brace out, this thing will literally just fold and flop. I don't understand that part. I got this stuff. It's just something like weather stripping. I'm gonna put right here in front of that switch and see if we can't keep the body on a little bit better. God, that is such a harsh. So we have speed. Ah, this freaking remote. I do not like this thing. Oh, come on. Jeez. Turn the lights on. All right, let's see. Definitely a bit slower. It's still not very easy to keep straight though. God, come on. $34. So I mean, that's not bad. It's not what do we have, like 50 something before? Man, I tell you, I don't even want to do this video because I know that these MJX and that are really popular cars, and people have had really good luck with these. So I'll say something. Experiences, everybody's gonna have a different experience when they test drive these and take them out of the boxes. Sometimes just one bad landing, something can happen. Maybe there's a defective part that changes the whole outcome of something. So everybody's experience can be different. These are mechanical devices. If you're looking to buy an RC, never stop at just one video, especially, and this is something that I fell for when I first started. I was watching like the wrong channels. They were coming in saying, oh my god, you need to buy all these parts, and you need to do this, that, and the next thing. And I realized, you know what, I don't run my cars at skate parks. I don't throw them. Like here, I like this kind of jumping, you know, I like small jumps. And that, so, and you know, I bought into the hype about all this stuff breaking and how durable something was just based on, and in reality, look at this thing. This is why it's so hard to, it does not, look, it doesn't center. Look at that. You know, you get used to RC car, make an adjustment, let it go, and it just snaps. But I don't know, like maybe my remote's just jacked. So the only thing I can do is just give you an account for what my experience. So if we look at it at, ooh, that was totally on me. If we look at it from like that, if that piece and that diff didn't break, I think there'd be a different outcome. But I can't overlook the fact that they super glued or over Loctited that center brace. And now I think I know why, because when you take that center brace out of the equation, this thing is just a loose taco kind of. I mean, it was flopping everywhere. There was no rigidity to that chassis whatsoever. But one of the bigger issues too that it's hard to overlook is the use of the red thread locker on those bolts for the center diff. That's gonna make working on this car about impossible. And if you can't work on something, you know, that's a problem. I'm not even sure what the front and rear diffs are like. Yeah, hopefully the front and rear diffs aren't over thread locked either. But supposedly they're going to take that input and maybe not do that next time. I showed them, I was like, this is an RC car. There's nothing, especially when you got metal going through a piece of plastic that should be that hard that you actually break the bolt. You know, in the world of working on cars, you know, you kind of get used to it. Maybe somebody over torqued something, or through age and rust and stuff like that, just it stuck in there, but not on an RC car. So I said, dude, I don't give the cars a rating score. I don't say buy it, don't buy it. I let you observe the way it drives as I'm going through it. I'll try to point out things that I think it does exceptionally well. I try to point out things that, for me, and what I feel like consumers will look at as things that, you know, maybe bring to your attention that, you know, like for me, this, see, now it's kind of, this remote, not a fan of it. Like taking this thing apart, all that, and I know I'm not the only one. I've seen RC Guy Garage had a problem getting the stuff out of his. Do RC had the same problem when he took his apart. So I know that issue's not a one-off. Now RC Guy Garage, he beat the living crap out of his, and I don't recall seeing that He broke an output cup on the rear, but he didn't break the pin for that sun gear. But I don't know if he was running it on 4S or not. I don't recall. I'm probably guilty of it too. I don't think a lot of times we talk about what kind of batteries we're running in here, so maybe something need to, but here it is on 3S. I think 3S is a sweet spot for this. You look, it's going quite well. Oh, I say that and never fail. As soon as you say, yeah, everything's going good. But I think my little trick here is actually working a little bit to hold the body on. It no, look at that. Oh no, the latch did move. The latch did move a little bit. Oh wow. So my zip tie came undone. I just want to show you. Look. Can you see? Definitely that goo is not a long-term solution. Uh-oh. Now what? What's going on now? Damn it! You gotta be kidding me. So before we wrap it up, I've actually seen on some forums people want a size comparison. So I'm going to take a look at the Reassembly Omni Terminator compared to that, the Mojave Grom, and then the brand new Red Cat Valkyrie. So a little size comparison against some similarly priced vehicles here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the video being so long. I didn't expect this thing to break and have to go back out there and redo stuff, but I wanted to give this thing a fair shot, so hopefully it didn't bother you, this thing being too long. I'll try to wrap this up as fast as possible. This is what happened. The center drive shaft popped out because of the body flex. The body just flexing that much. The whole center drive shaft popped out, so that's what broke. Now, all in all, it's not a bad RC. I do like it for the most part. I like the looks. The body seems pretty well made. The latch definitely needs some improvement. The remote absolutely sucks. There's no excuse for that. It shouldn't be sticking. It's too small, at least for my hands. It's just too small. It's just jammed in there. I don't like the remote at all. I do like the ESC. I like the Bluetooth connectivity. I like the dual fans, metal servo, metal threaded shocks, the metal brace. If it wasn't glued in, I like that this thing has a center diff, not a slipper clutch. So there is a lot of good with this RC, so don't get me wrong, don't read into it too much. My biggest problem and issue is for those of you that might buy this and don't have an excessive amount of tools and maybe more knowledge to deal with stripped, broken screws. How is anybody that doesn't have tools like stripped screw remover tools gonna work on something? It should not be thread locked that hard where you can't get a screw out of a center diff or a brace. That's ridiculous. For them to glue that brace down that hard is absolutely crazy. So that's kind of like my biggest issue is serviceability. If you can't work on it, what's the point? You can't really call it hobby grade if you can't replace parts, or maybe just part of the stuff, you know, like maybe an ESC or a motor servo. But if you can't do the diffs, if you can't open them up to service them and do just routine maintenance, that is a problem. It is a big problem, and I hope you guys can see through everything else too. That's kind of like my main point with the car. Stuff happens, things break. I'm not sure why that gear. I watch people like RC Guy Garage just run his forever and not have a problem with that. So could just be a defective part. I'm not going to slam the RC for that. You know, stuff happens, but maybe it was just a 4S. But they do market as 4S. Boom, look, 4S. So if you're going to market it as 4S, it should be able to handle 4S. So that's another problem I have with it. It shouldn't say 4S if it can't handle the power. But anyhow, it's a good RC. I think it's pretty cool. If it was me, my money, I would wait for version 2 to come out, see if they fix all these issues. They did say they would take my advice and roll that into production team, because if you can't service the parts, it's worthless. And what are they going to keep warrantying it? Every time somebody gets one, they strip everything out. it's gonna cost them more money. That's just easier to fix the problem from the get-go. So it's not a bad RC. I'm not out here bashing it. Don't take it that way. I know some people, the fanboys, are going to absolutely just destroy me. They're going to be all pissed off that I said that this wasn't as good as it could be or needs to be, and that at $250, I think it's just overpriced. I think you're just not really getting $250 worth of stuff here. I think these imports like this, like WL Toys and that, were a really good bargain at 150 bucks. But now like this, and I just recently was given one by Wholesome. Those are $180 on Amazon. It's just a lot of money for something, like I said, that doesn't have even local support. So, like the Red Cat, if I break something, I can just order from Tower Hobbies. I'll have it in a couple days. You know, sometimes these parts are available on Amazon, and that works well, especially if you have Prime like me, and you know, you can get it fairly quick, but that's not always the case. So guys, you gotta kind of be open-minded and look at all the stuff. I try to point out what people that have no experience and people that want to put the money in, and just try to look at what kind of concerns everybody in one pool. Some people just a little bit closed-minded, and just if it doesn't concern them, it doesn't concern anybody. And if I say something about it, then they're like, oh, you're just nitpicking. Trying to help people make an informed decision. So hopefully, you know, you watched, you saw how the truck ran on 4S, on 3S, you saw how it moved, how it jumped, and it helped you make a decision. If you can live with this stuff, and oh yeah, before somebody says, I did heat the center diff before I tried to get those screws out. That's why I was able to get one out without totally stripping it. So I did. I used that's pretty damn hot, man. That's pretty damn hot. I heated that diff up. Still couldn't get the screws out. This thing I really couldn't heat up because it's in plastic. I'm going to start melting it. So I did soak it in some alcohol for a while, try to break this stuff free, but it still just snapped the screw. But there you have it, guys. Sorry for the video being so long. I'm working on it. I've been kind of sick, not feeling too good, plus the heat. I've been on some antibiotics, just making me sick, so I've been trying to speed stuff up, and so excuse the length of this thing. It's just between the heat, antibiotics, stuff like that. I've just been kind of like, ugh. But I want to get these videos out for you. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed. I will get this thing back together, and we'll take a second look at it. I'll throw everything I know out the window, and we'll take a second look, a drive at it, and we're just going to do it on 3S. I'm not going to even push 4S and try to break anything, which I wasn't trying to break it this time, but it said it could do 4S. But we'll run on 3S and just give impression of it that way, a second look when I get it running, when the parts come in. Everyone, I hope you appreciate this honest look and review. You'll support the channel. Links down below. Got you some discounts. Got ways you can help the channel, because I buy these things. Like, this was not given to me. I purchased this with my own money. So this is my car, right? So, and this is my purchase. So this is kind of how I feel about my purchase. So anyhow, hope you appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.